to Entertainment Tonight. Whatever happened to your favorite TV stars?
Lydia Cornell played the part of the blonde bombshell on the comedy Too Close for Comfort. But today she tells a serious story of her brother's death from a heroin overdose.
He never touched hard drugs in his life until someone introduced them to him at a party. There's nothing worse than heroin or any drug. And I found my brother's body.
It's been 3 years since Lydia's shocking and tragic loss, but the pain remains.
In this town, it's very easy to go off the deep end. It's very easy to drink too much or to find yourself in the wrong crowd.
Lydia herself could have been a Hollywood casualty. She was a beautiful and inexperienced 18-year-old when she landed the role on the 1980 sitcom Too Close for Comfort.
I walked in and I just did the lines and I got it on the spot. Ted and I came over and said, perfect, you know, and they called me out back in and they said, you have the role.
Lydia quickly became TV's new blonde darling, but she was a TV newcomer, and her lack of training sometimes unnerved her mercurial co-star.
He was very paternal, he was like George C. Scott in Patton. He was like the general, you know. He inspired fear and awe, and we had a love-hate relationship. But he was the funniest man I've ever met in person. I mean, there were days of going to work where we were laughing so hard, I would feel like I did 1,000 sit-ups.
Lydia was anxious to please Ted, but that wasn't the only pressure the young actress faced.
I was carrying a burrito, M&Ms, and French fries. It was my junk food day. And I'm walking in, you know, I'm in a mood that day just to eat. And Arnie, my producer, catches me and he goes, what? Don't you know you're a sex symbol? You can't eat starch. And I threw the food in the air and went crying to my dressing room.
ABC canceled the show after 5 seasons. New episodes were produced for syndication. But Lydia's TV sister, Deborah von Valkenburg, chose to move on. Lydia was subsequently written off the show.
It was shocking to lose that, to suddenly have the show taken out from under you. And then Ted died, literally 1 year to the date of that.
Ted had suffered from prostate cancer.
I cried the hardest at the funeral. There were Mary Tyler Moore and Ed Asner and Gavin, and I blubbered. And I remember feeling like I hadn't healed my relationship with Ted. I hadn't talked to him. I really wanted to get to know him, you know, as a friend, not a father-daughter.
Then Lydia had to cope with another hardship, learning her close friend and co-star, Jim J. Bullock, was HIV positive.
We all had dinner, and I knew his partner was passing, and I knew he was infected.
After the series ended, work was sporadic, but Lydia had no shortage of men. Prince Albert of Monaco was a good friend. She dated Lorenzo Lamas and had a relationship with Dodi Fayed that lasted 6 months. But her partying was getting out of control.
I didn't drink every day or drink constantly or even every 3 months. It was just that when I did drink, I had an allergy that wanted me to have more. Then I'd end up dancing on tables or, you know, not that bad, but I would end up telling my best friend what I thought of her instead of doing the graceful thing.
It's now been 7 years since Lydia has had a drink. She credits her 6-year-old son, Jack, and her belief in God with her continuing sobriety.
For me, when I found this spiritual power, it replaced the need for drinking. And I've been the happiest I've ever been.
Part of that happiness can also be attributed to finding the right man. Lydia is engaged to business manager Paul Heyland. They plan to tie the knot later this year. But Lydia has put those years of bad dates to good use, using those experiences to get laughs in the one-woman show which she wrote and stars in.
It's got to stop. I mean, I've been boy crazy, man crazy. It's all I ever think about. So I'm working really hard on trying to be gay.
Up until 2 years ago, Lydia had abandoned acting to pursue her passion for writing. Now back in front of the cameras, she's received recognition and an Independent Acting Award nomination for her part in the dark comedy Miss Supreme Queen. She's tackled the role of a heroin addict in the independent film Happy Holidays from the Joneses. And she has a screenplay called Venus Butterfly about the pitfalls women face in Hollywood in the works.
Peace of mind just doesn't come to us without suffering at times. So my crash and burn was a gift.